Okay, in this video I'm going to solve the equation 2 plus 3 times open absolute value 1/5 x minus 1/3 equals 11. You'll notice there's quite a bit of fractions in this equation, so eventually I'm going to have to eliminate those fractions. But first, let's isolate the absolute value. So I want to get this guy by itself. So the first thing I need to do is subtract 2 from both sides, minus 2. And that leaves me with 3 times open absolute value 1/5 x minus 1/3 close absolute value is equal to 9. Now this is 3 times the absolute value, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3 to do the inverse of that. These 3's cancel, and I'm left with open absolute value 1/5 x minus 1/3 close absolute value is equal to 3. Now that the absolute value is isolated, I can split this up to two different equations to find the two solutions to this absolute value equation. Notice this is not a negative number, so I'll expect to have, since this is a positive number, I'll expect to have two solutions. So I have 1/5 x minus 1/3 equals 3, and the other equation will be 1/5 x minus 1/3 equals -3. Okay, so now let's eliminate these fractions. I need a number that 5 will divide into and 3 will divide into. And I want that number to be the smallest possible number that they'll both divide into. And that number is 15. So 5 divided by 15 is 3, and 3 divided by 15 is 5. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 15. So each term is going to get multiplied by 15. 15 times 1/5 is the same thing as 15 divided by 5. So this is 3x minus 15 times 1/3 is 15 divided by 1/3. So this is, or excuse me, 15 divided by 3. So this is minus 5 equals 3 times 15 is 45. Okay, this is just a two-step equation, really easy to solve. I add 5 to both sides, and I have 3x equals 50. The last step is to divide both sides by 3. So I have x equals 50 divided by 3, or 50 over 3. This is one of my solutions to this absolute value equation, this original equation here. So on this second equation, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to multiply through by 15 to eliminate the fractions. And again, this is going to come out to be the same thing. 15 divided by 5 is 3x minus 5 equals, this time it's a -3, so this is going to be -45. Again, add 5 to both sides. And I have 3x equals -40. Divide both sides by 3. And my second solution to the absolute value equation is -40 divided by 3. As far as the set builder goes, it's really simple. I just do a curly brace here and write x such that x equals -40 divided by 3, comma, 50 divided by 3. Now, when it comes to the graph, it's nice to know what integers these numbers fall between. So I'd like to know what integer 50 over 3 falls between and -40 over 3 falls between. I know that 50 over 3 is going to be to the right of 0. I know -40 over 3 is going to be to the left. I also know -50 over 3 is going to be further away from 0 than -40 over 3. But I would like to pinpoint it a little further and find out what two integers these are between. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to perform long division to find out how many times 3 goes into 50. So 50 divided by 3. 3 will go into 5 once, and 5 minus 3 is 2, bring down the 0. 3 will go into 20 6 times, and that's 18. So my remainder here is 2. I was just performing long division to find out how many times 3 will go into 15, and it'll go into it 16 times with 2 left over. So 50 divided by 3 is equal to 16 and 2/3. So this number 50 over 3 is between 16 and 17. So I'm going to put 16 about right here. And then 2/3 will be 50 over 3, or 2/3 the distance, and then 17. So I'm going to put 50 over 3 right here. And then I'm going to sandwich in a 17. Notice that the 50 over 3 is a little closer to the 17 because it's 2/3 of the way there. So there's one solution. Let's go ahead and find out how far, what two integers negative 40 over 3 is between. So I'm going to find out what 40 over 3, how many times 3 will go into 40. So once with 1 left over. Bring down the 0. 3 will go into 10 3 times with 1 left over. So 40 divided by 3 is 40 divided by 3 equals 13 and 1/3. So negative 40 divided by 3 will just be negative 13 and 1/3. So I know that negative 40 divided by 3 is between negative 13 and negative 14. So I'm going to put a little closer to 0, put my negative 13 here. And then I'm going to place closer to negative 13, I will place negative 40 over 3. Negative 40 over 3. And then I'll put negative 14 over here. So I've graphed my two solutions. Verbally, I'm just going to say that x is 50 over 3 or negative 40 over 3. And those are my two solutions to this absolute value equation.